Hi, in this video, you're going to learn what is a design brief and what are design specifications. Design brief. A design brief is a clear statement of the design task and its requirements. It must be derived or related to the theme or topic. It should not be too specific. When coming up with a design brief, the statement should not be, I'm going to make a cupboard. Design and make a box that, or I'm going to make something for my grandmother whose birthday is. A good design brief should be something like, design and make an artifact. Design and make a system that, I'm going to design and make an artifact that can be used by the elderly people too. In general, a design brief should be something like, I'm going to design and make something that benefit a large number of people, a community, or a group of people. Design specifications, or design spec for short. Design spec is a detailed list of requirements which sets out exactly what the product must do and the limits within which it should be designed. The final product will be evaluated against each item in the list to judge the degree of success. Therefore, design specs are very important as it determines whether the final product is successful. Design spec should clearly define the product. Examples of design specs are, it should be able to hold a variety of different bath products such as soaps, sponges, shampoo, etc. It should have enough storage for a large variety of children's toys such as dolls, puzzles, board games, soft toys, and books. Lists of specs are comprehensive with some critical areas backed by research data. For example, it should be able to store 5 soap bars, 3 sponges, 4 shampoo bottles, and 3 shavers. Another example, it should be able to store 6 dolls, 4 puzzles, 3 board games, and 14 books. Design specs are specific to the product based on research. You can conduct an economics and anthropometric study which can be found in your textbook pages 144 to 149 in order to get some data with respect to the dimensions of the artifact. For example, the height of the artifact should be easily accessible to children of ages 3 to 10 years old. It must have a minimum length and width of 600 mm and depth of 150 mm. When coming up with the design spec, you need to avoid vague or general statements that can be applied to almost anything. You should avoid, it should not have sharp edges. It should not be heavy. It should be attractive. It should be made of wood. Good design specs should be, it must be safe to use and prevent injuries from happening to the people who are going to use it. It should not be more than 3 kg so that people going to use it can carry it from one place to another. For it must be aesthetically pleasing and attractive so that it can fit into the bathroom environment or the living room decor. It should be made of wood so that it looks and feels authentic. Here is a sample of a design brief done by previous year students. For the design brief in this sample, design and make an artifact that can be used to store and display one's collection of trophies and medals, and at the same time allow for easy maintenance of the trophies and medals. And here are the list of design specifications. It must be able to store 3 trophies and 10 medals. It must be easy to store and retrieve the trophies and medals. The trophies and medals must be seen clearly. It must be aesthetically pleasant looking as it will be viewed by people looking at the trophies and medals. All edges should be rounded so as not to cause injury to the user. It has to be freestanding so that it can be moved around the house. It should not be heavier than 4 kg as it is to be portable. Here is another example of a design brief and design spec. Design brief. Design and make an artifact that can store and organize remote controllers normally found on coffee table in the living room, so as to upkeep the maintenance of the surrounding environment. And here are the design specs. It should be able to store 4 remote controllers and 2 sets of batteries. It should be easy to store and retrieve the remote controllers. It should be able to organize the remote controllers. Sharp edges and corners should be rounded off to prevent injuries to the user. As space on the coffee table is limited, it should not occupy a space of more than 200 mm and 160 mm. It should not be heavier than 1.5 kg so that it can be easily lifted up for cleaning or brought around the house. It should not be taller than 250 mm so as not to block the view of the television. It should be aesthetically pleasant looking as it is in full view of the guests. To recap, a design brief is a clear statement of the design task and its requirements. Design specs. It is a detailed list of requirements which sets out exactly what the product must do and the limits within which it should be designed.